What's going on, guys, and welcome to my channel. CLFurlong here, and we are all about running, lifestyle, and everything in between. And today we're going to get straight into it. February 2021, what's sold. Now, if you are new here, just for clarification, I do a few different kind of videos. I do running videos. I'm doing a lot of videos on my reselling at the moment, selling online on eBay, trying to make, I guess, some money from this, and also a few other things just around life as well. So today's episode is purely on what we have achieved for February 2021. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure you do hit that subscription button, hit that like button, because there's going to be plenty more content like this to come. We're going to dive straight into what have I achieved for February 2021. Now, I've had some ambitious goals this year to see where I can get to, and hopefully I want to get to a revenue point of $100,000. So this is month number 2, February 2021, and on screen right now you can see exactly what we've achieved to date in terms of February month end. Now, it's been a super exciting month. I'm so happy to see these numbers, and there's a lot of lessons in this too, but let's just start to break it down. So we've done a total of 71 items, and the total cost of items have actually been quite low. We've been able to bring it down to $384, averaging around $5.40 per item. Now, that's a savings from last month, bringing it down about 16%. In terms of total revenue, we've done $2,741, which is a nice figure. That's a nice number. I'm very proud of that. And the average, I guess, item sale, or the average sale, has actually come down by almost 10%. So we're sitting at about $38 per sale, which, I mean, I would love to be selling more, like a higher amount, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to be getting those numbers or quantity out, this isn't a bad number. It's not too bad. In terms of total fees and posts, so this is, whether it's PayPal fees and managed fees, now that I've transferred across to managed payments via eBay, and also postage, because I do majority of my sales with free posts, meaning the post has to come out of the margin. So the total fees and posts was super high this month, but it makes sense because I've done double what I've done last month in terms of quantity sold. So we're sitting at around $1,067 in fees / postage costs. So the average here is about $15.03. Now, this is an increase of just less than 1% from last month, from an average quantity. Now, this is actually pretty good because I've doubled the amount of items I'm selling. I've finally gotten onto managed payments. I've also, added some new upgrades and I guess changed the way I've been doing posts, and I think some of that won't come till March, but we'll get into that a little later. But this is good. I'm happy with this. It's not too bad. In terms of total profits, this is where things have just gone, wow, amazing. I've done a total of $1,289, so almost $1,300 in profit, which is an 89% increase from last month. And margin, we're sitting at about 47%. So I'm super happy with this. Of course, I would want more, but from where I'm at, just diving in from the start of the year, I mean, I have been doing it from November, but really full-time since start of the year. This is great. It's good to see that I'm increasing and growing, and that's what it's all about, because if I was seeing numbers pointing the other direction, obviously something isn't working. Now we're just going to keep this happening and the momentum, and, well, I guess we'll find out in March. But that's the summary for February 2021. Let's kind of jump down into the next level of detail. So I've left January 2021 in terms of a tabular format here, but I've also added February, so you can kind of just see the compare. And we do have compares later on in the video as well. But in terms of item costs, you can see we've done $541 per item on average in terms of cost of goods. Sales are about $38. Postage paid we're sitting still a little higher. Now, the reason why is, and I didn't actually transfer across to my post until, probably must have been, just before the middle of February, maybe the 10th of Feb. And once I opened that up, I had to wait a little bit before I could start getting the discounts. I thought I would have been able to jump on straight away, but because of my past obviously wasn't tracked in that system, I had to, make sure I was selling enough. So I wasn't getting the discount straight up. I don't think I was getting discounts till probably about a week after doing it. So I think in March we'll start to see this postage paid per item on average start to come down. One, because I am getting the different band discounts now, and two, I am using their own packaging, which means if I can fit it in those certain boxes, it's going to keep those costs lower, where I was using a lot of my own and the custom dimensions was just screwing me up big time. So I think that will start to flatten out and lower down as we progress into March and April. In terms of fees, this has come down now using managed payments. That happened about halfway through the month, 22nd of Feb, I think it was. And I've also had a few sales, privately as well, which obviously removes the fees. So that's come down. That's a quick win. The other thing to note here is net profit. So profit per item has come down. It's not as high as I would like it to be, but it's not the end of the world. So I think it's okay. All right, now we're going to get straight into the top five items that have sold for this month, and I do really love this this segment just because it kind of just gives me a refresh of like, oh wow, I had no idea that was my top item, because I don't usually go through this data until the end of the month anyway. So item number one, which has, you can see on screen, the profit has been $68, has been Numbers Complete series. This has come in with $68 profit, and I sold this bad boy for $91, and it was a $0 cost because it's come from something which, I was able to thrift this from home. It's something that has been an old collection item of my own personally, probably from way back, oh jeepers, we're probably talking 10 years ago, maybe. Yeah, probably about 10 years ago, and it's just been sitting there, and I started to, pull out a lot of the stuff to help boost my momentum with some of the eBay sales. This has actually been sitting for a while, and it finally sold. So beautiful profits there. Really happy with this one. And number two is also another DVD, but this one I actually picked up from the, I think it was a Salvos, the Sweeney. Now this one I paid $2.76. Sold it for $89.97. This was new and sealed, and the profit came in at $67.52. So a massive banger on that one. That's really good. Item number three. This is also like number one. This was something that I'd been holding on to for a very, very long time. Just needed to start to clear it out. And Criminal Minds seasons 1 to 7, and they were brand new and sealed. Sold them for $89 as well, and got a profit of $63. So another big hitter there. The next one, which is another DVD, this one I actually picked up from, it was from an op shop, and it was $5. Now, brand new and sealed, this thing goes for about $150, $160. This was already opened, it was in good condition. I was able to sell this for $79. So a nice profit after, normal fees and expenses, fees and postage expenses. We came in at $56.02, which is just incredible. So very happy with this. And then number 5, which is pretty cool actually. This is a Lego Minecraft piece, and it was brand new and sealed. Purchased it. The box was a little banged up, but I purchased it from I think it was Vinnie's actually. Now, this is a high ticket item. I paid $40 for this, so cost of goods is up, but I sold it for $119 or $118.97, and after fees and after postage, come in with $54 and almost 50 cents profit. So this one did sit for a couple of months, and I actually had put a few discounts on it, and no one took it, and then out of nowhere, some lady purchased it. So I ain't gonna complain. Very happy with this one, and it just goes to show that it is worth paying up for items if you know they're going to sell for that higher ticket price. So very happy with this one. My next favorite part of this is going through some of the cool items, I guess just top 3 items which I thought maybe have a cool story or just cool to see go out the door. And I've got 3 today, and the first one is, it was a bunch of PJ masks. Now, this guy, if I remember correctly, I ended up paying around, I can't remember how much it was. Let me see. It actually came out of a bulk purchase when I did a op shop run, so it ended up being around $2.70 or something. But this guy, unbelievably, it sold for $70. The comps on these are super high, and it was a bag of about 36, I think it was, and it actually sat for a very long time. And it actually sold on the last day of February, I think it was, or second last day. And to have that, you know, come in just to help me top over, you know, some new target numbers that I was aiming for February, it was very nice to see. So I just thought it was a very random item. You know, these toys, which to me or to many other people, you walk past and you think, oh yeah, what's that worth? But hey, it was well worth it, as you can see. Item number 2 was the Goonies VHS. Now, I just thought this one was kind of funny. I ended up getting around 19 bucks for it, just because it's a VHS. I think I paid 50 cents for it, and to be able to have that $19 come back is just amazing. It just goes to show, of course I tested it and it works fine and it was beautiful, but if you are checking out some of the VHSs, you probably can make a few good bucks on these. So the Goonies was just a cool one, and you know, it's a nostalgia kind of movie as well. So yeah, I thought it was quite good. The third one, which was just a bit of a random find, a Disney Princess CD player and karaoke machine. Now this one I also picked up for less than $5, and it didn't have all the pieces. It was working fine. I kind of just wanted to get rid of it, you know, as quickly as possible. It was a bit of a big item, so it was a bit rough and tough, but I ended up selling this for 50 bucks. I mean, 50 bucks. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to think that something that you can pick up for less than $5, do a bit of research and flip it out for $50. Obviously after fees and expenses, etc., it's coming only around $23 profit, but it's just nice to know that some of these big items, you know, there is an audience for them. So don't be shy to branch out. I saw this actually walking out of the shop and I thought, hey, that looks cool. Gave it a quick look up on the comps, and hey, I was like, let's give it a try, because it was less than $5. What have I got to lose? So super cool. I thought they were cool. And obviously there's a lot of items that I've done this month, 71, and it's so hard to pick and choose different ones. But I thought these 3 were just, you know, of some good variety. So we're going to jump quickly into some wins and some lessons. And last month I spoke about, you know, I wanted to focus on postage and getting those costs down, focusing on process, and also trying to identify where my top items are of focus in terms of what's bringing me the best bang for buck. Now, first thing I want to talk about is the wins. So in terms of jumping in and trying to focus on the posting costs, I did upgrade and made a purchase of a Dymo 4 extra large, which has been great in enabling me to do all my, you know, stamping and labeling and getting postage pre-packed and prepared at home, which is just saving me so much time. I actually did a bit of a time comparison, and it's cutting out not fully half the time it would take to do about 10 items, but it is starting to chunk away at probably saving me 40% of the time. I've also invested in purchasing the Australia Post packing boxes and satchels, just their standard sizing. I've got a whole bunch of different ones, just because, once again, if I can fit them in that, it's saving me a lot of time. I don't have to measure, I don't have to weigh, and I know it will just fit and it works, and it's that solid price. At the same time, using the MyPost bands as well. So now that I've signed up for the MyPost business, which didn't happen till later in the month, I didn't start getting those discounts. Now I'm going to start to see those things come full circle into March. Now that we're jumping into March, I should start to see it. On the 27th of Feb, I actually hit band 2, so I'm now saving even more. So I'm excited to see what this does in March. And that was the focus for Feb, to see how I can do it better, what can I fix. Now, in terms of DVDs, that was probably one area where I was probably the most, where it was bleeding me dry. I've now worked with a few different people. I tried sending them in bubble wraps at $3.30 each, but they were untracked, and that's been making me nervous. So after a quick chat with the Aussie Flipper, thanks mate, I'm now using their, it's just like a prepaid envelope. It's about $4.40 if you buy them in bulk, and just putting them in there and sending them with the tracking. So extra $1, but it's saving me $3 or $4 rather than doing the $8.95. The other thing to take note here is, from March 1st, Australia Post prices have gone up for some of their standard packaging. So that will be interesting to see how that, I guess, computes out into March results, but we'll worry about that later. Now, the other thing here was lessons. 2 areas where I believe I haven't really necessarily got huge lessons learned from it, but I'm just still figuring it out. And that's around listings versus sourcing. So at the moment in February, I'm averaging around 8 listings per day, and I'm sourcing a lot, right? I'm going out on average about 2 times a week and coming back with, anywhere between 50 to 100 items, in total. So I'm actually getting more than I can list in terms of a weekly cadence. So I have been taking a few off days from sourcing and just trying to get as much up listed, because if you don't have it listed, there's no opportunity for it to sell. It's better to have it listed and sit around for the same amount of time with the potential for it to sell. So it's missed revenue or missed opportunities. So been trying to just juggle that a bit better and get that priority right. However, I do love going out and thrifting and just looking for the different things. So that's definitely some area where I need to make sure I just do that with a better balance. And sometimes that might mean, taking a few days off from the sourcing and just getting the listings up and happening. The other area is around focus items. Now, you can probably see up on screen, we've got what were the top areas, or actually they're all there, but the top 4 or 5 areas for the month. Now, DVDs, they did me $666 of profit this month. It was about 23 items, and then there was toys of almost $300, and then video games of about $150, and then we had electronics, books, shoes, and blah, 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 blah. So what's interesting here is those are the areas where I'm not going to try and focus on them, but DVD, they are a quick win. They really are, especially if you can get those box sets. Toys also, I've noticed that some of these smaller toys, they're high value, high ticket items, and you don't really necessarily realize. So that's what I'm still also trying to get into the groove of. I am loving picking up the books though and finding all the different, set items. Now, I haven't necessarily delivered on them yet. I'm still pulling them together to bundle up, but I think come March, April, we'll start to see those come out in the results. So that's really the 2 areas. What I will be doing is continuing to see where I can increase revenue. And what I mean by that is it's okay if my it's okay if my sale price is coming down. So we're sitting at around $37 compared to $42 last month. But if we're doing 10 items, right, or 10 times more items, or 5 times more items, or even 2 times more items than previously, then it doesn't necessarily matter, because at the end of the day, I'm chasing the goal of more revenue. I'm not necessarily chasing super high profits. At the same time, I'm managing things from a foundational standpoint to ensure that the profit's going to be consistent and steady, and then I can continue to reiterate as the months goes by and I get more data. So that's really where I'm focusing on at the moment. If you've got some ideas, more than happy to hear them out as well. All right, so let's do a quick compare of how we went in February compared to January. Now, this is pretty cool. So you can see up on screen, Jan, we did 32 items, $207 in cost of goods, fees $477, sales was $1,300, profit was $681. So now we flash February on top, and so cost of goods, they've dropped down in terms of 16.6%. So we're on an average basis, right? So we're bringing down our cost of goods. In terms of fees, we're still up by about 0.7%, so less than 1%. From an average perspective. Of course, our fees overall are going to be up because we've got double the amount of items we've sold. In terms of sales, this was just amazing. We've done 200% more than what we did last month. Now, it's just crazy. It really is just crazy. But in terms of average sale price, yeah, we're down by almost by 10%. But that, once again, we kind of just discussed that. Profit is where it's important, for me financially. So we've increased by 189%. Average profit per item is down by about 15%. So got to be mindful of this, and this is something we'll continue to focus on as I just mentioned in the previous slide. But I think all in all, I'm very happy with this result. So if we look at a running view since when I started reselling, with a bit more detail, keeping in mind that I went full-time from January, you can see up on screen the first section there. I've got it November, December, January, and Feb in terms of how we're progressing. So sold goods, you can see each month we've increased. Cost of goods from an average perspective is starting to even out from February's perspective. Fees and postage is way up, but from an average perspective, it's starting to, I think as we get March and April, we really will start to see where we're at from an average perspective. It's still a bit too early to see. Sales, we're up, and profit, trending up, and profit per item is still, it's a little down. We'll start to see where that's heading as we progress onwards. What's very interesting is, once again, for every $3 that I'm spending, I'm basically making a profit of $10. So, we've done cost of goods is $384, right? So you divide that by 3, and then you can times that by 10, and that's the kind of profit. So it's very interesting. I'm very excited by that, and it does make the math easier when I'm out there and pulling my data. Pulling my sourcing together and think, well, what is this actually worth? But it will be good to see if I can continue to keep the costs low, but bring the profit higher, of course. So then at the bottom, I've got kind of like a rolling view, cumulative view. So what we did with month 1. By the time we were at month 2, what was the running total? Month 3, running total. Now we're in month 4 in terms of, since being from November, but keeping in mind January and February I've been full time. So month 4, we're now at a running total of a profit of $2,590. So we're not necessarily super high. We're not super, we're not making millions, but sales and, revenue wise, we're at, almost about $5,000. So we're nearly, it's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with this. In the way I'm tracking my goals for 2021, obviously I've started this from January. So these numbers, they're a bit diluted to those goals there, but these numbers are help telling me, how I'm growing, where I'm growing, and where I need to fix and what I need to fix as well. So I'm very data orientated. So that's just my style. All right, so that is February 2021. It's been an absolute massive month. Very, very excited to continue to see where this will go. And I think from this, I've learned quite a lot of things. It's mainly really been that just because you're doing more doesn't mean you're doing better, right? I think that's the key takeaway. And there's a lot of time and effort spent in this. So the other area of focus has been, well, in order for me to, I'm not necessarily going to see the benefits now, but as I continue to try and grow and wanting to scale, if I get my processes in place now, whether it means, how I'm shipping things, my shipping station, how I'm printing stuff, how I'm preparing things, how I'm sourcing, how I'm listing, all those processes, I might not see the benefits of it necessarily now because, I might only be doing a couple of, maybe I'm doing 5, 10, 15 items a week. But as that starts to grow, those processes are going to become super important, and I'm going to see the benefits of them from the longer term. So I'm trying to invest as much as my money as possible into these different, upgrades or achievements or things like that. So I do want to be clear also, these numbers that we're looking at are month view, right? So we're looking down into the month. So the cost of goods are the items that I sold in the month and what were the costs of those goods that I sold. It's not how much money I spent on cost of goods in February. That's more of a business running expense view, right? So that's a cash flow view. I'm not sharing that at this point. I think I'll do that further down the line, just as I start to get more numbers and things in place. I am in a positive cash flow, and which is great, but I think at the moment my goal is 100% focusing on just getting more and more sales and just getting the data so I can really start to then crunch down. Super excited for all this. I really do appreciate you being here. And if you've got questions, I need you to ask them. Leave a question below in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you what you thought about this, and if you've got different ways of doing things, or if you'd love to see something more, or keep me honest, if something doesn't look like I've calculated it right, please let me know, because sometimes I can get into all this and realize, I've made a mistake. So more than happy to be corrected. Still learning lots, and like I say, I'm no expert. I am just here to share my journey, learning from so many others, and it's been great to get to this point so far. I have a very long way to go. Hey, but March is going to be a bit of a longer month as well. Excited for that. And now it's just all about just continuing to source, continuing to list, and to continually to refine these processes and systems to ensure that I can get the best profitability, but also the most throughput of selling items. Alright, that has been February 2021. Really do appreciate you being here. Of course, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao.